Ooh, the Empress looks mad. It's like that time I accidentally added pepper instead of chocolate powder into my wife's coffee, and oddly enough, I kinda like it. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video where I'll be sharing my honest experience with Tangzu's WuZetian Heyday edition in collaboration with HBB, aka Hawaiian Bad Boy, aka Bad Guy Good Audio Reviews. A lot of people have already talked about this IEM, and this IEM seems to be making great waves in the community, so it looks like we're off to a great start in 2023, but I'm curious to know myself, is this truly an upgrade to the original WuZetian? What's the difference in sound and is it noticeable? Does it truly represent the meaning of Heyday, which signifies one's greatest success? So without further ado, let's find out. And of course, I'll be featuring the original WuZetian as comparison. For ease of comparison, I'll be referring the HBB collaboration IEM as Heyday and the original WuZetian as Purple Wu. First of all, let's talk about their accessories. The biggest difference between the Heyday and Purple Wu accessories is that number one, the carry pouch is now in black with the Tangzu logo in the middle, and it doesn't have that leather texture on it, so it's smooth, although they're both not real leather, and the size remains the same, so if red wasn't to your liking, now we've got black. Second would be the cable, and this time it comes with interchangeable terminations with the 2.5, 3.5 and 4.4mm. The cable itself is now in blue and it feels slightly thicker, and I wish Tangzu would sell this cable separately because it looks and feels quite premium. If you ever missed out on getting the upgrade cable for the Maestro SE, here's an alternative because it fits the look of the Maestro really well. It's also nice in the Heyday as it gives a little bit of color to that mean looking exterior. However, I really like changing cables to match the look, so if you want to complete that dark theme, I paired the Heyday with a Kinara upgrade cable, and that seems to complement each other more for me. Let's talk about the mouse pad because this accessory will only be included in the first 400 purchase of the Heyday, and if you were quick enough, congratulations, because to me, this is a great quality mouse pad. Just doing a quick comparison of this versus my Legion Gaming mouse pad, so just looking at these, you know you're not getting some cheap mouse pad. There's some quality to it, and it's an extremely smart move by Tangzu to include something that is usable as part of the early bird special, and I wish we get more of these initiatives for other releases or from other companies. To top it all off, that amazing art on the box is printed on your mouse pad as well, so you can constantly lock eyes with the Empress when you're taking a break from gaming. Look at her, she's like staring at you and judging you like, that's the IEM you decide to wear instead of mine? Pathetic little peasant. Hey, that's not me saying it, that's the Empress saying it. You got a problem? Take it out with Her Majesty. Anyway, let's talk about the design. For me personally, I love how this IEM looks. That gunmetal grey with the aluminium body, just mwah. I think the choices made by Tangzu on their IEM designs so far has been spectacular. It stands out, but in ways that I want it to stand out. I almost want people to look at it because of how sleek it looks. The engraving adds a little bit of shimmer by nature of its design, and yeah, top 5 in terms of IEM looks for me personally. Now bringing in the Purple Wu for comparison, one of the noticeable difference would be on the nozzle where the Heyday uses a metal plate as a filter, whereas the Purple Wu uses like a mesh filter on the nozzle. Another difference would be the location of the holes on the IEMs. The Heyday's got one in the middle and two on top, whereas Purple Wu's got the same hole in the middle but one on each ends on the side, which I believe affects airflow movement, which in turn affects sound presentation a little bit, but we'll get to that later. Essentially, some minor changes were indeed made between the two IEMs. For fit and comfort, even though it's made out of aluminium, for me personally it didn't affect how it fits, and it was already comfortable wearing the Purple Wu, and it is no different for the Heyday, at least from my ears. I honestly do not feel much difference in the weight, if not at all. The best way I can describe the difference between the Heyday and Purple Wu is something like this. The original Wu is like your wife, girlfriend, partner. She's wearing purple, she's looking good, she's looking pretty, she's warm and cuddly, she's ready to take you in her arms and party all night long. The Heyday is like the opposite of that. She's mad at you, she's giving you that cold shoulder. Her answers to you are short and straight to the point, but not too mean or harsh because she still cares about you. And she's wearing something meant for business, not fun. I know, another exaggeration, but that's the biggest picture that comes to my mind when I see and hear between the Purple Wu and Heyday. They both look and sound the part. If you have the two, have a look and listen and see if that scenario comes to your mind. No? Just me? Fine, let's move on with the sound. The following description were based on the 4.4 balance termination. For the bass, the biggest difference between the Heyday and Purple Wu would be in the bass. The sub bass has been reduced slightly, which is noticeable and unfortunate for me as I love my sub bass. But the mid bass, for me personally, it still slams hard when it needs to, and it's still full but a lot cleaner, punches faster, and this helps with keeping the mids clean. Unlike the Purple Wu, this finally sounds like a planar bass, but it also hits relatively hard, which is enjoyable. So the fun is not entirely taken out from the Heyday, and what you're getting from this IEM is a much more controlled bass, but controlled in a way where it's like Goldilocks. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's just right. I still miss my sub bass though. This is a tuning that is going a different direction from HBB's own target curve, but this type of tuning actually helps in other aspects of the frequencies. Let's talk about mid-range. This is where the vocals shine. Partially due to the slight reduction in the lower frequencies, it allows for everything else in the frequency to come through. Vocals are placed in front of the background music, yet you can still hear it all. It is truly an accompaniment to the vocals, and it just helps the vocals stand out and be the star of the track. The vocals sound clear and lush. It sounds like an IEM made for vocal clarity and presence. However, I feel the Heyday is a touch more forward compared to the Purple Wu, which was odd for me as the grasp would suggest a more laid-back presentation, but in my listening sessions, I felt the Purple Wu was slightly more laid-back and the Heyday was slightly more forward. For treble, to me, I feel there's a little bit more treble extension on the Heyday. However, with the reduction of the lower frequencies, and since it all sounds much clearer and open, this IEM does step on the line of being a little sharp for my ears because of that forward presentation as well, but it makes the cymbal strikes more distinct, the trumpets sound clear, powerful and open. It helps the clarity of vocals and there's a bit of bite. And if you are used to the IE600, HE1000 V2 or the Z1R, then you should be fine with this level of treble. And this is fine for me. However, I do have to recommend with caution on the treble, as I think it may sound harsh if you're very treble sensitive. The Empress bites now. If Bimbing wants to bite me, I'd be honored. For resolution, imaging and separation, I've already touched a little bit on resolution when I talked about mid-range, but essentially every decision made in the frequency simply helps with allowing the details in the track to be heard, which is fantastic. It also helps with separating the sound a lot better, and you can distinctly hear the positions of the sounds in the left and right ear, which is simply a joy to experience. For me, the details are there for you to notice and enjoy, but it doesn't try too hard to make itself known, and I feel this is one of the highlights of this IEM. For Soundstage, so everything mentioned earlier does present an intimate presentation, similar to the Purple Wu, although a touch narrower for me due to that slightly more forward sound presentation. For source, similar to the WuZetian, I'm getting to the 8 to 9 o'clock dial on my Hi-Fi and EF400, and on my Moondrop Dawn I'm on about 20 out of 100, and this is on the 4.4 termination because, as I said before, I like it when the Empress gets some power. So to sum it all up, I feel the upgrade is mostly on the cables and feel and design of the IEMs themselves, including the drivers. The cable with the interchangeable termination and the aluminum shells makes you feel like you're getting a really premium IEM that you would typically get at a much higher priced package. As for the sound, for me personally, I think Tangzu and HBB did an amazing job in offering a different alternative to the WuZetian with the Heyday edition. I don't think they both cancel each other out, and one does different aspects in the sound better than the other and vice versa. If you're looking for a much more fun, laid-back sound presentation, then the WuZetian exists to satisfy your needs. However, if you prefer something with slightly less but cleaner bass and more resolution and a slightly airier treble, then the Heyday is here for you. It's warm and comfort versus precision and cleanliness. This is one of those instances where it'll be very difficult to pick between the two because they both offer very different sound profiles that is both enjoyable, and they both hold their place in my collection. But if I had to pick one, I already have a planar that does well for bass, so I'll stick with something with a bit more resolution, so the Heyday would be my personal pick. However, to be very honest, I would keep both if I could. With that all said, that concludes my experience with the Tangzu WuZetian Heyday edition. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. If you purchased the Heyday, do let me know your experience in the comment section down below. Is this your new favorite planar IEM, or do you prefer the Purple Wu instead? I'd love to know your thoughts. Till the next experience, take care and happy listening.